Sam can only read, Peter can read and write. Now you can try all combinations, but it will take time. Okay, whether he can modify. Full control means all control. Okay, list contents can he at least see. So you can set it. Now if you're just setting NTFS permission, that means the folder is not supposed to be shared. Okay, it's a local folder. Okay, but if you're setting a share permission, then what? The folder is supposed to be shared, and that effect applies only if the folder is accessed through a shared, maybe from another computer. Okay, not directly. The settings does not apply when you open directly the computer and open it. Okay, only one sharing. Now let's say I'm just curious. You made a folder, okay, and you shared it. Okay, in the share settings, you make Peter read permission, only read. In NTFS permission, you make Peter read write. So which one will he get, the read write permission or just read? You are sharing a folder, okay? Means you made this folder last, right? Data. Yeah. It was not a shared folder, it's a local folder. Let's say you are sharing a folder. Now when you share this folder, okay, when you share this folder, you are adding Peter and you make read. Okay, read here. So you are sharing with Peter, but only read. Now you see it matches with the NTFS. That's what I was asking. But we did not share the folder, right? But here you can see here. We want to turn on the network discovery. Okay, yes. Done. So now Peter, when I see the share permissions, you go to properties, sharing, advanced sharing, permission. How did I do? How can I check? Okay, now what I have done, I have given Peter only read permission, right?
Yes.
While sharing. But in the NTFS permission, that is if I go to the security, here I give read, where it is? Okay, here I give read and write permission also.
So if he is remotely accessing the
folder, which one can you only read or can you do read write?
You set only read for the remote part, right? So probably he can only read.
It has to be tested, okay? Yeah. That was just a thought. So you have to. The basic question is whether which permission will supersede, okay, or which permission will be on the top of the hierarchy. See, and there is a conflict in share and NTFS permission. The most restrictive permission is applied. That's what I meant. So whichever is restricting most, that will be applied. So in our case, NTFS is more not more restrictive. So it gave read and write permission, whereas share permission gave only read. So only read. Okay, anyway, you can try that. I'm not going into that, it will take some time. Okay, then we will go into shared files and folders. Like I told you this before, even if you haven't shared anything, by default, it depends upon the Windows settings. Okay, they are talking about 2003. Windows Server 2003. Now we are using 2012. But nevertheless, we have some default shares, or in other words, you can say hidden shares. Okay, so you have something. Now we saw C dollar, D dollar, right? I showed you this one. You can take any computer and you can just do C dollar, so you can see the entire C drive. Is that? But you have to log in. You should have a credential of the computer. BTR 3-PC15, right? Like this. You can access. By default, it will be shared. Similarly, you have admin share. So that means it will take you to C drive Windows. C drive Windows. It's not required, right? Because if this is shared, then this is also shared. But if this is not shared, then you can access only C drive Windows folder. Okay, that's where all the system files are there. You can have IPC. The permits named pipes connection for establishing communication in applications and other computers. It's some kind of session related share. Okay, it depends upon the software, what software you are using. Print share, whether you have shared the printers. Okay. Fax, same thing. Okay, so even if your printer is not shared, you can access the printer. Okay. Normally what we studied so far means if you have a printer locally connected and if others want to use that printer, you should share it. But others, if they are administrators, they can share our printer without you sharing it. Okay, they can take our printers. Just like you take the C drives. So that's the dollar signs, okay? So this is all specific to Windows 7. So there may be some changes with respect to Windows 8 or Windows 10. Okay, but mostly the concept is same. You just have to figure it out. Maybe some things can be disabled, some things can be enabled. So I think by default in Windows 8 these shares are disabled. You have to do something in the registry. It depends upon the domain settings. Okay. Now right now you see we have a Windows 7, right? So this is not part of a domain. This is standalone computer. Like your computers in your home, they don't have a server. Okay, but here they are talking about you have a server and you have a domain, and these client computers, they have joined the domain. Only then these things matter. Otherwise you may have a different thing, different setting. Okay. So you should be in a domain environment. Okay, then we have some of the system folders. Okay, these are the very basic things. You have a Windows folder, right? Where do you find this Windows folder? C drive. Yeah, normally in C drive. Okay, let me check my host computer. So I go to C drive. I have a Windows folder, right? I go to my D drive. E drive. Here also I find a Windows folder. Why is that? Now this Windows folder is what? Windows folder is most critical, most crucial folder. Okay, where system partition, it stores all system drivers, exe files, libraries. Okay, so that's a folder where all the, all the operating system stuff is there. In other words, the operating system is stored in, you can say the Windows folder, all the executables are there. Okay. You go and delete something, some part of the operating system will not work. Okay. So the user is strongly able not to delete any files in this folder. Okay, now the question is, if you see our host computers, you have a C drive and D drive or E drive, I don't know in which drive you have. Okay, now when it comes to C drive, you have a Windows logo, that means your Windows 8 is installed in there. Okay. So what about the E drive or D drive? So there also you have a program files. You will find a program files. You will find program data. You will find Windows. So what is that? You may not find this in your home, but I am talking about here. You tell me why is that?
So you can run the other program in another drive.
No.
So you're.
You know that these machines are dual boot, right?
Yeah.
You have Windows 7
Windows.
and Windows 8. So in C drive you have. Okay. So that's the Windows folder of Windows 8, and this is Windows 7. Okay. But when you log in Windows 7, it will show you the C drive, the same thing, in which you will have the files of Windows 7, and the E drive you will have the files of Windows 8. It will switch. So it's relative. So the C drive here is the C drive of Windows 8. But when you switch to Windows 7, it becomes a C drive of Windows 7. So all these things will come here, something like that. But it's relative. Okay. So the drive partition letters are relative. That's what I meant. Okay. You have Windows.old. Now this files you may not find. You find only if you have done some upgrade or something. Okay. So normally when you format the computer, you have seen it, right? You haven't seen how to format, right? Okay, when you put a CD and do it, you can format it. When you format it, you will have an option whether to delete or format the partition, do it fresh, or just click it and overwrite it. So when you just click and overwrite it, in old days, it used to format. It used to wipe out the data. But now, what happens is, it will take the old files and it will make a folder called windows.old. I'm talking about your C drive. When you format, only the C drive gets formatted, right? So it will make a folder called windows.old and it will put all the old files in there. It will not delete. That is windows.old. Okay, just in case. You can try that. Users folder. Now that every account, now you are an administrator, so you will have a users folder. You go here, you can check. If you go to computer, right, C drive, users, for every login, for every account, you will have these pictures, music, documents, downloads, all those things will be separate. So now you are an administrator, so this is the desktop, the downloads all belongs to administrator now. Let's say for example now you want to see the Peter's desktop, what do you do? How do you get Peter's desktop? Now the desktop that you are seeing is the administrator's desktop. If you want to see Peter's desktop, go to users, Peter, desktop. So this is Peter's desktop. So you can see all these things. It's personalized. Boot, as the name says, the folder is hidden. It's a hidden folder again. Okay. Check it. C drive /boot. Okay. You don't see it here in C drive, but you can do from here C/boot. It has all the booting related information. You see you have a BCD file, that's boot configuration file, and you have different languages for booting. Memory test, that happens in booting, right? Memory test sometimes. Program data, this we saw before, right? It stores information about your softwares, installed applications. Okay, like, now let's check the program data of the host. Okay, C drive, I'm talking about host because in VMware Gust you won't have anything. basically all these different apps like Adobe, Apple, Dell, HP, Microsoft. Okay, all of them have some software. Sky, you can find out some data. It may not be readable, it may be encrypted and all, but it is. So it's basically for the softwares to keep their data safe. Recovery, you can have this. It's a folder containing image required to log into the system recovery console. The folder is here. Sometimes you don't have it. You have it, but there is no recovery because you have to configure the backup recovery. You have to configure it. So it will have the image, not the complete operating system image, the image required to recover. Okay, it's a little bit different. Complete image means, like I gave the ISO file that will be around 6 GB. Okay, it's not that, it will be few MBs just to initiate the recovery. Recycle bin, you know that. We saw about the folder options, right? View hidden files, single click, double click. Hide extensions, folder options. In case of Windows 8, you will find it here. Options. Same thing. If it is Windows 7, you have to go to organize, folder and such. So it has a tab called search, okay? It's not mentioned in the book, but just let me ask you. See, you have in index rotated. What is an index? It's regarding search. Maybe this you have studied in your. When did you study SQL Server? First year, second year, first year, right? You have a concept called index, right, in SQL Server. It's very similar to that. Why do you need an index? It's for searching. When you search for a file, something else, you can search things, right? You have a search box, you can search. Or even if you are not searching, operating system can also search for things by itself. So there will be an index for this file system. Okay, because it's all data, right? So you go to C drive, D drive, you have a lot of data. Now how the data is stored? You have a lot of folders and files. Okay, let's say 100 GB, 200 GB data. Now how is the data stored in the hard disk? Like if you have a 1 GB movie file, how is that stored physically?
Stored by going to RAM memory, then to the CD.
Yeah, how is it stored in the hard disk? It's stored in the hard disk, right?
Technically
Yeah.
moving it.
Okay, so if you study, see it's stored in the form of pages.
Pages.
Pages, just like the pages of the book.
Separately, like part by part.
Yeah, part by part. So it's not stored as one whole chunk of 1 GB file. Okay, and these pages can be in different places. Okay, each page will have a page number and all. One page can be maximum 8 kilobyte. Okay, so that's why we have this index. So if you remember, your books also have index, isn't it? Let's say if I want to come to this topic, which topic is this? 5.10. Okay, if I want to come to, imagine this is a particular data, right? It's 5.10 ID. Okay, if I don't have an index page, how do I come to this? Let's say you are somewhere in page number 1. If you don't have an index page, how do you come to that particular topic? You have to search every single page like this. You have to check whether one point. But if you have an index page, what you can do, you have lesson 5, okay, that's 147. So you can directly go to this 147, right? And then you can now it's this PDF is not accurate, but you can directly go to the topic, right? You got the point, right? So that's why we have index. Just like your book has an index, your hard disk also has an index, a ledger. Then you have the pointers to go to the exam data. So if you don't have an index, also you can search, but it will take a longer time. Okay, so that's the point.
Just now I remember the index.
Yeah, the same thing happens in
SQL. The create view.
Yeah. Like when you do create index in SQL, you don't see any change.
Yes.
But
Yes,
because it will change if you have a lot of data. Okay, you should have tons of data. Then you will see a considerable change in the performance of the query. Otherwise, you just don't. Okay, there are many other folder options. You have seen this. I think we have also seen this one, right? User access control, UAC. That's in the control panel. If you don't know how to reach a particular thing, you can just type, okay? You can just go to control panel. Let's say I don't know how to reach there. Let me say UAC. Yeah. You can just type it. Okay, user access control. Helps prevent potentially harmful programs from making changes to your computer. Okay, basically exe files. So when you open an exe file without notifying you, it just gets installed. Maybe it will harm your computer. So you are having some protection to give you some warning. So when you open it, it will give you the warning. Okay. If you go this, it will always notify. If you come here, do not notify me when I change this to the settings. There are different settings. Okay, prompt for credentials means whenever you install a software or anything, it will ask you the username and password, or just the password if you are administrator. Even if you are logged in as administrator. Just for protection. Okay, maybe you logged in and somebody came and installed it. It can happen, right? Automatically deny elevation requests. Elevation means what? Administrative rights. Okay. That means you logged in as Peter and you are installing a software. Then you have to give the administrator password. Okay, but it will deny that. You have to log in as administrator, then you have to install. Security settings. You can also do using SecPort, that's security policy. You have this console. It's basically the same thing in control panel, but here you have more things, more options. Okay. And it is, it's not like click and apply. You have this hierarchy of things. It's basically all the settings related to security. In control panel, you will not find this much settings. Yeah, you just have to go to run. Okay, Windows key R. secpol.msc. Okay, MSC stands for Microsoft Console. Okay, all security related things you can do here. But normally we prefer control panel for doing some few simple things. But if you want to do some complex things, you have to come here. Same thing you can do. Security, yes. there is a little topic on virtualization. Huh?
The general of this meeting.
Yeah, general. You saw it?
That's why
No.
something that is not there.
That's the meaning, okay?
General.
Yeah. Okay, so whether you know it or not, we have actually done it, right? So we have installed VMware and we installed Windows 7 operating system. So this is an example of virtualization. Okay. So what do you mean by that? What do you mean by virtualization? Because you have done it already. You're seeing it, you're experiencing it. So what is virtualization?
Something other new.
Okay. That's a non-IT person will say that. Yeah. You have done VMware, you have installed Windows 7. So now you tell me what is this is an example of virtualization. So what is virtualization?
The emulator.
See, normally what you have a single computer, okay, and you have a single operating system running on it. Okay. But virtualization means multiple operating systems can be installed and run simultaneously on a single computer. Okay. That's virtualization. More than one operating systems on a single computer simultaneously, not as a dual boot. Okay. So that's virtualization. Software virtualization or operating system virtualization. Okay, now there are many categories of virtualization. Now here we are talking about client-side virtualization. We are focused here only on client-side virtualization. Okay, means so this is a normal client. Okay, it's not a server. It's a normal desktop PC, right? Not a server. So you can have server-side virtualization also. Okay, so you have a lot of softwares. You see like Citrix, EXX, Hyper-V. I didn't mention VMware. I don't know. Okay, so these are the softwares used for virtualization. Now, you can have two kinds of virtualization. You can have hardware virtualization and software virtualization. Now, what is this one? What are we doing now? Is it hardware virtualization or software virtualization? Why is that? Okay, that means we install the operating system in another operating system, which is a software. Okay, so we install a software on a software. Right? Because this outer operating system is a software, operating system software, and you install another software. It's a software virtualization. But imagine, let's say you have a device. Okay, you have a computer, and you install a lot of operating systems in it. Like say for example, here you have a dual boot, Windows 7, Windows 8. Like that you have many operating systems, 2, 3, 4 operating, except they are not dual boot, they are parallel. They all work in parallel. Okay, maybe you have many monitors connected to one computer, something like that. So that's hardware virtualization. So you directly install the operating system on a hardware. Okay, instead of installing the operating system on another operating system, you install it directly on the hardware, directly on the metal. It's called bare metal installation.
Come again, sir?
Bare metal. Bare, B-A-R-E.
Balmy.
Yeah, barely. Yeah, bare metal installation. So basically you need, this is actually another paper, it's not your book, okay, but this is actually official CompTIA syllabus, but not your book. So basically you need three things, right? You need computers, okay, or we say the host, the one is letting you host, and you have something called hypervisor. Okay, or sometimes it's called virtual, but mostly it's called hypervisor. And then the gust operating system. Okay, now in our case, the Windows 8 that you have is the host. The Windows 7 that you have inside, that's the gust operating system, or say VMware gust. And you have something called hypervisor. Okay, that's the engine that intermediates between the physical and the virtual operating system. No, Hyper-V is, no, VMware is a hypervisor, Hyper-V is a hypervisor. So hypervisor is a software part. It's like the middleman. So you can have only one hypervisor, that's why you removed Hyper-V. Either you can have a VMware's hypervisor or Hyper-V's hypervisor. They are from two different companies. Hyper-V is from Microsoft. It comes built in with the Microsoft as a feature. But we prefer VMware because it's more good. But Hyper-V is also okay.
Sir, it's kind of like in .NET, the CLR part.
Something like that.
This one. It's coming.
But you can compare, you can't compare with that, but something like that. Okay, so hypervisor is the engine that runs the gust. So it's more, it's actually emulation, okay? It's not simulation. Okay, it's emulation.
Emulation. Like for
Yeah, means it's something real, okay? This is not like a simulated software. You can have simulated softwares, like you can install a Windows 7, it may look like Windows, but it's not a real operating system. But this is a real one. Okay, that's why you say it's an emulator. Okay, this is Hyper-V, okay? This is very similar. See, you have the hardware, you have the OS, the host, and you have the hypervisor. And inside the hypervisor, you can have all different kinds of operating systems, any number of operating systems. So it's called type 1 hypervisor. Okay, we are not using this. So if you are using a bare metal, if you plan to use a bare metal installation, okay, this is like this, right? So you don't have the OS. Okay. Right now we are using this model. It's type 2 installation. We have the gust and host operating system. In bare metal, you don't have the outer operating system. You don't have that Windows 8. You directly install it on the hardware. Okay, you directly have the hypervisor on the hardware. You have something called virtual machine manager.
So how do you switch between the operating system? How do you switch between those?
Switch?
Yeah.
You don't switch actually. Why do you have to switch? If you want to switch, you can use a KVM switch. Like you see, you have one cabinet, okay, like this, one server. Let's say 100 operating systems are running it. 100, one person cannot work in the 100 operating systems at the same time, right? So what do? You just give it to the network.